ready to European action now between Stephan Johann at the top. He is up against Nathan Blewitt at the bottom. You can see the big points discrepancy here. Stephan is one of the ones challenging Felix Tenitzer for the title at the top, and Nathan is struggling for points. So 23 points currently separates the two. Nathan here looks to be on some sort of a black-white knights build. Stephan on the more traditional red-black aggro. And I think I mentioned in a previous recording, I've pretty much covered red-black aggro every time I have done one of these recordings. Let me just set. The graphics for this one is done by Nathan, so he's the one recording. We're looking at his hand. I just input my webcam and also the points that they enter this one on. Goblin Chainwheeler not going to do anything on this board. It's still a handy 3/3 first striker. Of course, it takes down the knight in this particular instance because he chose to block. 2 History of Benalias, so this is going to stabilize the board. You can see Nathan does have access to the double black for the Vraska's Contempt. And those knights are going to become 4/3s next turn, so we'll see what the follow-up here is from Nathan. I suspect he's got a second Goblin Chainwheeler. Otherwise, he probably would have held one of those back in defense. For Stephan, sorry. Yeah, there it is. There's the second one. The giveaway there is that these knights become 4/3s, so he can kill one of them with first strike damage here. Little does he know Nathan's holding a Vraska's Contempt, so he chooses not to use the Vraska's Contempt. He's going to go for a Militia Bugler to continue adding to his board instead. I probably would have just fired off the Contempt there just to push through the extra points of damage, because he's going to give up a knight here if he wants to attack. He doesn't want to attack, although he is going to get the boost next turn from the History of Benalia going off again. It's going to pump all 3 of those, so Stephan will be aware of that. It's going to be a lot of damage coming through on the board. Let's see if I can quickly add that up before that happens. 4, 8, 12. Militia Bugler I don't believe is a knight. I might be mistaken. Human Soldier is not a knight. So Vraska's Contempt here, you'd imagine this is going to come down on a Chainwheeler. So he's going to lose 1 knight. The others are going to be chump blockers, because that's a pretty big chunk of damage coming through. I think he's may as well chuck the Militia Bugler in there because it's not getting any better. He has to be wary of the crackback, so there's a very quick mathematics has to be done here from Nathan. I think he's just because he's got 6, so there's 5, 6, 7 on the crackback. And you've got to imagine there's probably lightning strikes in hand. He didn't attack. I'm very surprised by that because these have vigilance as well, so he could have at least forced a block. I would have sent the 3 knights there personally. So now the Chainwheel is going to come in. It's just going to be. This is going to be interesting. What's he going to do with Chandra here? It's a pretty aggressive line from Stephan to remove a blocker. He could have actually just plus Chandra, swung the Thopter, and it would have been a 2-turn clock. But Militia Bugler is going to continue to add to the board here. So there's a Lyra Dawnbringer. That's his payoff card. He can't actually get it because the Bugler I think is 3 mana or less. Yeah, I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive with his knights here. Likewise, on Stephan's side, he's got an inevitability of Chandra. He'd actually have lethal on board here this turn if he attacked with the Thopter and plus Chandra last turn. I think he's got to do that, take that line this time. He doesn't do it again. He hasn't actually activated Chandra this time, so we'll see what he's going to do. He's tapped out. So drops Nathan to 4. And again, if he attacked with that Thopter, he would have had lethal this turn. Nathan here going after what? He goes after the Chainwheeler. I think because it's been 2 turns without a Thopter attack, kind of suggests that that is not going to happen. So the other, of course, the other option, the other line that he had there for Stephan that I didn't even consider was Chandra could have pumped that Thopter as well. So he's actually dead on board here, Nathan. Swing the Thopter plus Chandra, there's the 3 damage. So a misplay there in the last turn. He took down Chandra. He had to take down the Thopter. And again, Stephan misses the line. So he could have won this 4 or 5 turns ago. Swing the Thopter plus the Chandra and it's game over. He's going to plus the Chandra. But again, he does it when he's tapped out. Cut to ribbons was the card there. So here's the next line's binding. He's got to take that Thopter this time. He takes the Chandra. So again, that Thopter is still lethal. Nathan's going to concede. I wouldn't have conceded that because it's pretty clear from about the 3 or 4 turns prior that there wasn't going to be any attack from that Thopter. This is a pretty handy keep. Militia Bugler, I think, is a good one there to have on as your 3-drop. And Hada Quran, perfect card to see when you've got a Fatal Push in hand. Shield Mirror. We don't see too many Shield Mirrors around. This is a more aggressive start from Nathan. I think he's got a pretty good board going here, particularly if he can find another. Yeah, Shield Mirror. Let me just bring that up very quickly and see what it does. It's not one that I'm familiar with. Okay, Shield Mirror can't be blocked by red creatures, so perfect for this matchup. When it becomes a target of a spell ability, you gain 3 life. So it died, but of course Nathan gets the 3 life there. And Magma Spray is going to do some good work, but Stephan of nothing going on. He's got a Heart of Crown 4 mana. You'd imagine there must be a Hazoret or something hanging out there. Kite Sail is not going to be very good in this matchup. Likewise, a Johnny adversary of Tyrants puts +1 counters on creatures. It's no good if there's no creatures. And he probably wants to play that with an extra mana up so he can protect it from the Heart of Crown of the Fatal Push. So we'll see what's going on now. Oh, land flooded big time on the other side. Cycles the Canyon Slough here. So he's finally got a creature. It's a Soul Scry Mage, but it's not going to be able to crew the Heart of Quran here. And I think it's overly aggressive to use the Fatal Push there, but he wants to get this one won pretty quickly. Here's 6 points of damage coming in. And Stephan had seen enough, so we're going to the decider now, game 3. I think probably a concession out of frustration there, big land flood going on. Kari Zev. So Kite Sail's going to let him get a good look at the hand again here. He can take a cut to ribbons. It's the only card he can take. There's a Glory Bringer hanging out there as well. No fantastic blocks there. Here comes Shield Mirror again. The important difference here is it can't be blocked by red creatures, but it can still be dealt damage by red creatures. We'll see if no follow-up play for a 4-drop from Stephan of 4 cards in hand, 3 cards in hand. He's going to have a second Shield Mirror here, so no viable blocks now, so he's got Karizev covered. Sorry, blocks, no viable attacks on the other side. This is going to do some work. So, but Glory Bringer can't take down the Shield Mirror. Well, actually, I think it can. Let me just double check that Oracle text. Yeah, it can't be blocked by red creatures, so he can certainly kill it here. And that's exactly what he's going to do. 7 damage coming across, Nathan down to 18. Of course, he does gain 3 when it dies. What's he going to Exil's Binding here? Yeah, Exil's Binding is a Glory Bringer, so that we won't be seeing any more Glory Bringers in this game because red-black can't get rid of enchantments. And from what we've seen from the red-black side, I think if Nathan can find the 5th land, he might have this one tied up with that Lyra Dawnbringer. And there it is right there on time, the 5th land. I think he's swing first and see. He might be able to get a. Oh, he's going to cast out. Not sure if I like that play. Removing the blocker. Because we know that there's 3 cards in hand at the 4 drop with nothing going on. So it looks like Stephan's heavily flooded again. Here's a Dawnbringer, so that's enough to bring a concession. Yeah, there's nothing in the red-black deck. Maybe Vraska's Contempt from the sideboard that can deal with that. So we're going to the. What is this? It looks like he's playing. I forget the Boggles. Nathan's on Boggles for this one. After he gets the upset win over Stephan there. And Stephan Boros burn, suspended Rift Bolt. It's either a Rift Bolt, a Goblin Bite, or a Swift Spear is kind of a giveaway for this deck. And you can see Nathan's already got the key card in hand, and that's Daybreak Coronet. If he drops the Daybreak Coronet next turn, if he finds that second land, he's got the Dryad Arbor. It's just game over. He can't tap the Arbor for mana this turn. Because Daybreak Coronet will give him lifelink, +2/+2, so he'll be getting 5 a turn, and the burn player can't beat that. So this is a matchup. He's got, I believe he plays 4 of the main deck. This might even bring a concession once he sees this. He could have loaded up the Umbra there as well, just to get a bit more life. So you can see he's up to 16, and Stephan right down to 7. This is going to be a very fast turn here. I don't even know what burn can do against this deck. As I say, 4 Daybreak Coronets here. He's conceded already. Four of them in the main. He's brought in Leyline and Sanctity from the sideboard. And he's got the Slippery Boggle, so this is pretty ugly for the burn player. I think it's going to be a pretty quick 2-0 sweep here for Nathan. Because what this Leyline does as well is it means that his creatures are untargetable. They can only the core Spirit Dancer can be targeted. The others cannot be targeted. So if there's a lot of creature removal, if there's creature removal in the deck, like say Lightning Bolt is completely useless because it can't go at the face and it can't go at creatures. Lava Spike is another one. So a lot of dead cards in Stephan's hand now. So here we go. Here's a Boros Charm that he cannot target anything with. I think he just gives himself double strike there. You can see he has to play these really inefficient plays. You see 4 damage coming across, so he needs a Swift Spear, I think. Swift Spear is about his only hope. Spirit Link. I believe that, does that give lifelink as well? Let me have a look. Yes, so Spirit Link gives lifelink as well, so it looks like this one is over. It's a 5 powered Boggle, so not quite lethal next turn. Second Leyline coming, you would have liked to have played that Windswept Heath last turn, I think, and shuffled that away. 2 turn clock now. Okay, Skullcrack will buy him a little bit of time. It means that he cannot gain life this turn. But you can see there, Stephan down to 1. So with 2 lethal attackers, that's it. So 2-0 sweep very quickly to Nathan in Modern. We'll see how Legacy is going to play out. What is this? Some sort of a blue-black Death Shadow Reanimator Abomination. We'll see how this one goes. Nothing to pitch for the Force of Will. So, what's Stephan on the other side? Oh, okay. This is going to be the mono red prison deck, which is pretty popular in our leagues at the moment as well. Pitches, well, that's an interesting one. Pitching Fiery Confluence. Chalice for 1, and he just got burnt for his Force of Will. He's going to flip the Delver and draw the Force of Will, so he's got the card now. A Death Shadow and Reanimate in his hand are both useless cards. So now can he ride the Insectile Aberration to victory? One thing that would kind of have me concerned from Nathan's side is that he pitched the Fiery Confluence, which tells me he's got probably at least another one. So it's going to chew up 2 Force of Wills. He does have to get to 4 mana though to play that. Oh, there's his 4th mana. So he's got Khan here. We'll see if this gets a Force of Will. It does. I'm not sure I would have countered that because it is card advantage, but I think you're trying to win with a fast clock here. Well, Thought Seize is going to be a good one. We'll see what's going on over there. Oh no, sorry, he can't. Chalice of the Void. So now he's free to resolve a spell. We'll see what he wants to resolve. What happened there? I missed that. Did he play a second mountain? Oh, he played a second mountain and lost his... A big daze there on the Goblin Rebel Master. So the Rebel Master is not going to resolve, and he hard casts the daze as well. So not looking good here. Stephan just struggling for mana. As he's cracking for a Death Shadow, but he can't actually play it. Down to 8 goes Stephan. Needs to find something. Cannot find something. 2-turn clock now. Down to 5. He's got 4 cards in hand and nothing going on. I'd love to know what he's got. I don't know why Nathan's cracking that Watery Grave untapped. Is he going to hardcast a Street Wraith, which is not really necessary because it's lethal next turn? But yeah, he's going to go for the Street Wraith, and perhaps just to play around any removal that might be on the other side. But Stephan had nothing, so we're going to game 2. Here's the snuff out. Well, Brainstorm makes us keepable here. This is an interesting first up play. He's going to go, just Wasteland and Ancient Tomb. You can see from Stephan's side there was no turn 1 mocks. So it's going to be a bit of a slower play here. I'm guessing he drew that mountain because otherwise he would have played around Wasteland and played the mountain first, and then played the Ancient Tomb as your 3rd land to get to 4. The only time you'd play that Ancient Tomb first would be if you had a Khan in hand and you had 2 Ancient Tombs. This is a big one right here. He doesn't have the counter spell for it. So Chalice for 1 is going to shut out 3 cards in his deck. So there's the 4th. So Blood Moon. I think he's seen enough. We're going to game 3. So see how he plays this one this time. Again, he leads with the Ancient Tomb. Pitching a Simian Spirit Guide. This is huge. Luckily, Nathan had the days in hand there. Well, this one was over very quickly, I think. Liliana, I think it's an instant or sorcery, so no, you can't flip. He's playing Liliana here as a win con. For some reason did not play a second land there. You can see Stephan up to 4, but no red source. Is he going to dismember? He dismembers his own Delver so that he can play a Death Shadow. Now the Death Shadow can be taken down if there's a red. No, he needs double red for Chandra. So I think Death Shadow is safe now. This one looks to be over. I think Nathan's going to get the clean sweep and a massive upset. Seven power is outside what mono red deck can deal. And he can actually deal 10, 13. He can't quite deal the 10 damage next turn. But I think Stephan is done here. So it's going to be a clean sweep to Nathan, 3 games to 0. Oh, no, he can shock. Oh, no, he doesn't have a shock. I was going to say he could have shocked himself to 3. That would have done the trick. But he's going to have to wait a turn. What do you want to get back here? Delver. And we're going to see a concession. So a big upset from Nathan, taking it down 3 games to 0.